Can someone confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So last topic for today is that we are launching retroprogramming guided study groups as of the month of September. So that's what I'm going to talk about in the next hopefully 10, 12 minutes. First of all, what it is, then we'll see how we plan to organize that, when we start, when we hopefully end that, what is the methodology that we will use, the guiding principles and the supporting tools. So basically, it's the context, or it's more like a situation we observe from a few years now that retro computing is really booming. There is more and more interest that is, I guess, revived by the fact that you have multiple machines coming back on the market, like machines from retro games, like the C64, the VIC-20, the Amiga Mini, and stuff like that. Mega 65 or Vampire on a higher, let's say, type of budget. Also, the Commodore brand that is revived. But you feel it as well when you go to events. Like there is this Amiga event in Germany. Amiga 37 was one day, then we had Amiga 40 2 days, thousands of, or more than 1,000 visitors, stuff like that. So what we observe is that, of course, the community is still based on a majority of people who are just collecting. Oh yes, I have like 25 C64, 7 128 to pet, blah blah blah. And people, what they do mostly is retro gaming, right? We have a lot of people, like I call them hackers, like the people attending this call, for example, today, who have more or less always been there doing new projects here and there. Sometimes they disappear for 2 years. They come back with a new project and stuff like that. They've always been there. But there's a lot of people who are now coming as, I would call them newcomers into the retro programming. And they have a lot of interest. So mostly it's people who are more or less our age. And when they were a child, they had the computer at home, but they're using it only for playing games. And now they get back with like, okay, I have a C64 or whatever, and I would like to do something with it. And there is interest, and you see that into these the forum of retro computing. You see people coming and say, "Oh, I've started learning BASIC, and I do this and I do that," and they have issues. And then after some point, most of them they stop it just because there is lack of support. Right? They come to these forums, they ask a question, and they get like 200 answers, and out of these 200 answers, maybe 5 are really valuable, but you need to filter out and try plenty of things. So a bit the intention of the guided study groups is really to support these people in their initial learning journey. The people who are really starting up are welcome to join these groups so that they can get someone to, let's say, hold their hand and introduce the things nicely to them. But of course, they need to be active as well. So these study groups will be then organized as kind of guided workshops, but we expect the participants to be, of course, actively contributing. So active learning, the best learning is actually learned by doing. But I will come back to that later on. But it's basically what we expect from the people to do. That's that there will be assigned some kind of activities, and then they have like 1 week or 2 weeks to prepare, playing at home with that, writing some code, and then the next session, then they come and present it. In terms of timeline, so it has to have a start and an end. It's not something that we plan to run for like 2 years time. It's really like putting the people onto the right track so that they start learning, they do something, and then they learn. Hopefully they learn something and they have fun. That's the most important part. So learning by small steps. So the idea is to start in September and to end sometime end of the year or beginning 27. And limit really to the, let's say, to the basics, so that we make sure that people can start with something interesting, they learn something interesting, they can put in practice. That is the most important thing. So we were initially planning, or hopefully having study groups for a few languages that are listed there. We've been in touch with a few people. So far, there are 3 groups that are fully confirmed to start in September. One on Basic 65, one on the Commodore Basic version 2, that is the one for the Commodore 64, and then one on Commodore Basic 7, that is for the 128. For the other, we don't have what we call a study group lead assigned yet. So if there is anybody willing to take that role, I'm happy to hear from them. Don't hesitate to reach out. For the time being, we are sure we will start with the 3 groups that are highlighted in green now here. And again, what we want to achieve, so it's not like at the end of the period you will get a nice certificate for attending something. No, you come, you join, you participate, you learn something, and overall you have fun. Right? That's really the objective, the main objective. How is it organized? And not going too much into the details, but there will be then one study group lead per chosen language. That person will organize planning the sessions. So there will be like sessions every 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, so that people have the time also to get, let's say, some tasks assigned, and then they have the time to write code and test by themselves. And if they go into issue, to reach out to someone. So that's a bit the idea. The study group lead will facilitate these things. He will distribute some assignments, and then people do, so they learn by doing. And then in the next session, so they get together and they present what they've been learning. The study group leads are not necessarily an expert in the program. They can actually also be learning. In the case that we have now, the 3 confirmed, of course, they have some background in each of the languages. Some of them are quite renewed, actually, people. There will be one coordinator. That's basically me, who is then organizing the overall thing, but also supporting the study group leads, facilitating them, and in case there is a planned meeting and the person cannot join, then backing the person as well. That's the way we want to proceed. And then again, of course, there is no point in organizing this if there are no participants. So again, active participants, that will be then the target learners, who will learn by doing. Really, what we expect from them is basically that they get some assignment, they discuss, of course, during the first session. I would like to be, maybe one person has already some background and they are more interested in something slightly more advanced, and then someone is still at the basics. So it will be like, I don't know, maybe some person gets data types and how do you do conversion. Maybe someone else is getting assigned what kind of loops and giving some examples. Somebody gets read and write from file system, displaying sprites, disappearing sprites, something like that. So every time a little steps, people present to each other. Maybe at some point there are also some workshops with more contributions, where people will then do like a mini project together. That will be, of course, decided when we see how people evolve. But again, small steps, very frequent follow-up sessions, and people presenting actively, contributing to the overall group.
Sebastian, can I?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if I understood well, but are you looking for someone who can actually lead, for example, a machine language 6502 group? I'm more than willing to. I've spent quite a lot of time now trying to understand this thing, and I'm more than willing to participate if you want, or because you talk only about basic.
Yes, for the time being, we were looking at basic, but if why not? So yes, yes.
Yeah,
Machine language. I'm happy to add it to the list. That's
anybody who wants, I'm more than happy to.
perfect. Okay, well, let's connect after
Yes.
the session of today. We can continue that and then hopefully also add machine language to the list. That would be super nice. Yeah, thank you for the offer. The timelines then during summer, it's about preparation, of course, promoting and starting registering also participants. So there will be announcers on the. So let's say the first announce is actually now, right now as I'm talking, but it will also be brought on the Facebook page and hopefully on the website once this one is fixed. So registering participants in the different groups. Of course, it's open to anyone, and one person can join more than one group. That's certainly okay. Ideally, we start sometime mid-September with a kind of kick-off event. Maybe with then all the study group leads and all the participants. Maybe not, because we have one of the study group leads is located in the US in California. Another one is in Asia Pacific. So in terms of time, like it's for one, for Europe, it would much more the morning, and for the other one, it's more like the afternoon or the evening. So maybe we will need to do at least two separate events that we still need to discuss. But then again, we would start as well mid-September and hopefully either mid-December, just before the Christmas holiday, or right after that in beginning of January. We would have a little closing event. And well, yeah, then normally we should have some good results by then. So the methodology in brief, I have already described it actually. So it's more like each member is assigned a specific concept. I mentioned them before: read, write, sprite, data type, this and that, loops, whatever is part of the language. And then they do really, it's really active way of learning. Doing things and then sharing with the group at the next session, so that people can exchange and make their own test and proceed like that. The principle is that we want to remain tool agnostic, so we are not promoting any specific environment for development or emulators or whatever. First of all, because otherwise you need to start explaining this one and making sure that everyone is using the same. That's not the idea. It's pretty open. Of course, if someone starts really from scratch and needs some guidance, then we can mention one or another emulator, or what is the preferred one. But it's not like it will be one IDE, one emulator. No, you come with what you have, and it's generic enough so that it can adapt to everything. Also, OS agnostic, the tool should be able to run at least on, I think the target is to be compatible with Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, maybe Android as well, why not? But so that it's open really to the most to the biggest amount of people. As well, keeping in mind that this is a hobbyist targeted program, right? So again, open to everyone. Not everyone has the same background. Maybe some people are already programming with, I don't know, something more modern, like, I don't know, Python or whatever, or doing web development. And some other people may come with absolutely no programming at all, or maybe they have done like basic 30 years ago, or another type of basic, which is not the same. I don't know, or they're using current QC or QBasic or whatever, or stuff like that. There are so many now, new languages as well. So the idea is not to, there will not be like assessment evaluation of people or whatever. This is really to have fun. Really, again, having fun is the first priority. If the people have learned a little something, that's even better. And that's really the idea, is to have some nice environment to start learning. We'll be using a certain amount of tools for the meetings. We'll be using Zoom, just like today, because it's quite simple. You don't need to install anything if you use the browser. For the source code repository, we expect to use Git, or if someone has a preference for some kind of alternative, why not? That's to be discussed. In order to keep also some kind of privacy, I think some people maybe not willing so much to do on I don't know, with their name on Facebook or whatever. We'll create channels in Discord. So we have a channel for Commodore Users Europe in Discord. I think it's quite simple for everyone. You just need to create an account with a username that you define and an email address. So in terms of privacy, that's quite okay. And also even recorded sessions, I'm not sure that we will do recorded session. Again, maybe some people are not comfortable with the idea of having, let's say, their struggles recorded or whatever. But if we do so, maybe some like presentations, we will store that on the Zoom channels, which is something quite new. At least we haven't been evaluating that yet. But the idea is not to put that on the YouTube channels or whatever. It will be some kind of closed environment, so that everybody can feel at ease with, just comfortable in participating into these. So that's how we plan to organize, starting again September. So to register, there is no let's say page or whatever today to register, but you can just reach out to me or to the Commodore users email address, and that's it. Happy to have the first people registering. Of course, any kind of question that people may have, they can reach out again to us either through email or there is even my phone number on the page, or through Facebook or whatever. Don't hesitate to reach out. And I guess that's it for this retro computing guided study groups. Happy to hear about people willing to join. And yeah, I will stop the recorder. No, I don't know if there are any questions. I think no, these are just comments here from the people who have left. But yes, I will take questions on this topic from the people who plan to participate. I don't maybe expect so much from the attendees in this call, but more for the people following us on, for example, on the Facebook page or on the YouTube channel. Many thanks again. Stop